Okay, I think we's live. It's really hard to tell, to be honest. I'm trying to watch us on the Twitch and see if we's up there. And oh, now I see it. Okay, we cool. So, if you listened to the show before, you know I used to always be like, oh, and now he's at the part where I don't know if I'm live or not. But I guess I'm still continuing that, even though he's on a new service right now. It might look different to you than it used to do, which is because we're in a different service. Another thing that might look different is I don't have a beard anymore. But look, I haven't told you what the show is or who I am yet, so I probably jumped the gun on getting into that. You're listening to the show that's called Apocalypse Tips with Lester Pipps, and I'm the guy that's called Lester Pipps, which is the guy that's hosting the show that's called Apocalypse Tips with Lester Pipps. It all makes sense. You track it, you follow it, you know. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I'm here to get apocalypse tips, but that sounds good. I need to know how to survive an apocalypse. And if that's what you're thinking, then you're right. And if you're thinking, well, I don't need any apocalypse tips, there's no apocalypses, well, then we use wrong. Because look outside. We just survived the world burning for a while. We got like all these COVIDs up in the air trying to get inside your brain, eat your brain out from the inside. COVIDs is out there trying to eat your brain, so watch out for that. And then obviously also there's so much bad politics, so much bad politics. I don't even want to get into what Ding Jong. I can't say his name, you know that. But I don't want to get into it because we're trying to have a show that's about what's good in the world, which is how he's going to survive an apocalypse. Not a show about what's bad in the world, which is, well, seemingly kind of everything. Now, you might be thinking, okay, that's just the apocalypses that are right now. I'm surviving them okay. What about, why bother listening to the show? Good question. Good question. Now, let me tell you what. Say this apocalypse ends, and then another apocalypse comes. Is you going to be ready? I don't think so. Not if you're not prepping. Not if you're not getting yourself ready. So think about it. What if one day the moon opens up its big wide mouth and takes a huge bite out of the earth? That's a big apocalypse. That'd be bad. You don't want that. What if one day it turns out that underneath Antarctica there really is one of those places that Superman lives in the movies, but instead of being good Superman, it's that evil Superman. You know the evil Superman that was in the comics sometimes. We don't want that. That'd be an apocalypse if there's an evil Superman. Let's see. Another possible apocalypse could be if it turns out that all trees is poison. That's an apocalypse. So we got to watch out for that. We got to prep for all these possible scenarios. You don't know what's coming. So my thing is, what I believe from the bottom of my heart is that if there's an apocalypse coming, we got to make sure we are ready. And we got to know what's important in order to be ready. So obviously, since I'm coming to you from my bunker outside Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which is obviously where this accent is accurate too, don't question it. What I believe is important is Louisiana culture. Of course, Louisiana culture. If you're in the comments, sound off on what you think is good about Louisiana, because I'm curious to hear what y'all think. But I'll tell you right now, there's only one right answer, and that is, if we're going to have Louisiana culture in the post-apocalyptic world, we gotta. Oh, Andy Parada 1 says Popeyes. He really beat me to the punch. But let me tell you what, Andy Parada 1, you forgot there's an important detail. It's not just all Popeyes. If we're gonna have a future humanity after an apocalypse, we gotta make sure that there is the recipe and all necessary ingredients to Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen spicy chicken strips. Because nobody wants a world in the world without any of the spicy chicken strips. Come on, what are we gonna do? Eat regular chicken strips? I don't think so. Now, Morbid BB says not Hurricane Sandy. That's true. Hurricane Sandy, not good. We don't want Hurricane Sandy around. Speaking of which, to anybody who's affected by any of the hurricanes, I'm so sorry, but I do hope that, like what happened to me when I was affected by Hurricane Katrina, you become an adult and recognize that we got to fucking deal with apocalypses. Okay, you can come on tour with me, talk about apocalypses anywhere you want. And if that doesn't happen to you, if you don't become radicalized against apocalypses, well, I just hope you're doing okay. You know, I don't want anybody to be in a bad shape. But look, the show's not just about stealing the recipe to Popeye's Louisiana chicken strips, although we are going to get there in just a second. A little bit later, we're going to have some guests on the show, which is what this show's really about. We're not just hearing from me about how we survive in apocalypses. We're not just hearing from you in the chat about how we survive in apocalypses. We're hearing from some guests on the show who I've met in my travels from my previous employment as a travel and doomsday prep lecturer, going from door to door to any open microphone situation that would have me, which did generally turn out to be comedy open mics in the Los Angeles area. But I would go all over the world, and that's who I'm getting on this show. People from all over the world. We got some great guests coming up. I'm so excited. Coming up later, we got a film critic named Blake Chen, who I'm very excited to talk to. Last time I talked to him, he was going to tons of movies. This time, well, who knows? Maybe COVID's changed that. We'll see. Before he gets on the show, he's going to talk to a OnlyFans girl, like the only one I know of who's bunker specific, which is pretty cool. Her name's Busty Bunker Babe, BB for short. I'm excited to talk to her later. And before all that, we're going to welcome back an old friend of the show who we had on one time back a little while ago. Real excited to check back in with him. It's Pete the Offensive Guy. We can't even get any more excited to get Pete the Offensive Guy back on the show. But before that, it's very important to me that you know that I know that Popeye's Easy Kitchen, man, they've been giving the money to the big DJ. I'm just gonna call him Diddy Kong Tram, because that's what I feel like. Diddy Kong Tram, man, they've given money to that guy's campaign. Get him to be a dictator. I don't want that. So I'm not supporting Popeyes financially. Okay, I know I talk about him all the time, but we don't support him financially. We get in there, we steal a recipe, and I know how to do it. Okay, I got the blueprints to every single Popeyes Louisiana kitchen in the whole country right here on my computer. Okay, if you want to break into a Popeyes, you just tell me which one right here in the chat, and I will walk you through how to break into that. All right, we broke it into one outside USC. Oh, well, I actually never received any follow-up from the person who I told how to do that, if they did break in or not, but I sure hope they did. Although if they did and they didn't send me the recipe, then it's like, what was the point, right? Because the whole thing is send me the recipe. So if you're in the chat and you're thinking, I know what Popeyes I want to break into, please throw it in there, and then I will tell you how to do that. But if you're in the chat and you're thinking, I don't know, well, then don't. That's okay. I'm going to give you 3 more seconds, y'all, and then we're going to get to the guests. And look, I'm not going to lie. Guiding people how to break into Popeyes might be more fun for me than it is people watching, but it's real fun for me. So, throw it in. Okay, 3 seconds passed. We're going to get to the guests. Our first guest is somebody who I already mentioned to you. Their name's Pete the Offensive Guy, and I can't wait to talk to him. Pete, jump on in.
Yo, what's up, man?
Hey, Pete, welcome back to the show. Good to see you.
Yo, man, good to be back, man. I've had a lot of stuff go to me.
So you've had a lot of stuff going into you? Is that what you said?
You can say that, man. You know what I'm talking about. You ever heard of this new little food that all the organic people are eating called cucumbers?
Cucumbers ain't new, Pete.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, though, right?
I do know about cucumbers, yeah.
You know what those things look like, right?
Sure, yeah. They look like zucchinis, but they're a little smaller, a little sweeter.
That's offensive, man.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, not too much, but yeah.
Yeah, man. That's like a joke you should put up on stage, man. I'll come watch you, dude. That's fucking good stuff, man.
Yeah, because we met when we was both watching a stand-up comedy at an open mic situation where I was trying to talk about apocalypses, and you was heckling the comics real bad.
Yeah, man. I've been doing it a lot online now too, man.
Oh yeah, you doing a lot of online heckling?
Yeah, man. Pauly Shore was having a Zoom conversation with me, and I was like,
what?
"Fuck you, idiot!" Heckling him.
Man, how'd you get in a Zoom conversation with Pauly Shore?
I called him.
Oh wow, I didn't know you had his number.
Yeah, man. I'm directing his new movie, actually.
What? Oh, you gotta tell me about that.
Yeah, it also has Steve-O in it. I forget what it's called, so I'm looking it up real quick. It's about a pool house, guest house. It's called Guest House. I'm making it, man.
Whoa, that's so cool. I didn't know you was a director, Pete.
Yeah, dude. It turns out that all you need to be a good director is just a good set of ears, a good mind, and access to methamphetamines to give you actors. That's offensive.
Well, I suppose that could be it when you're working with Steve-O and Pauly Shore. I guess that makes sense.
Steve-O's clean, man.
Oh, is he? I don't know Steve-O.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay, man.
It seems like I offended you. You're the offensive guy. I offended you.
Well, sometimes you push stuff too far, you little motherfucker.
Oh, Pete. Nah, you don't have to use language like that on me.
Sometimes you push stuff so far that, it's like, I wish you were dead from getting cut up into tiny little pieces.
What? You want to cut me up into tiny little pieces?
That was offensive.
That was offensive. I didn't like it at all. I don't want to be cut up into tiny little pieces. Oh, Pete, you okay?
Yeah, man, there's something in this room.
What do you mean?
Have you ever heard of a vent?
Yeah, you mean like a slotted thing that lets air in and out of a room?
Yeah, that's inside of your wall that they feed you through.
Yeah. Wait, what? That you could fit through?
that they feed you through.
That they feed you through? Pete.
Yeah, that the master passes your salami through.
Now, Pete, no, I haven't heard of that because last time we talked, you was in a bunker of your own making. Is you in a cell now?
No, well, it turns out that I was in a bunker that I accidentally made, if you remember correctly, because I had a meth lab explosion.
That's right. Yeah, the meth lab exploded. That's right.
It turns out it was my stepson who exploded it.
No.
Yeah, man. And so he feeds me salami and squeezes all day long. It's so offensive.
Dude, that is offensive, Pete. That's terrible.
Yeah, man, it's pretty fucking badass. He pulled one time, stepson passed me the movie Jackass 3D through the vent and the 3D glasses, and I was like, ticket for one.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can only be one because you're using a cell by yourself.
Yeah, it was pretty haunting watching Jackass 3D alone. It's usually better to watch a film like that with other people.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing enjoyable about that is laughing at other people's pain alongside somebody.
Yeah,
but then when
man.
you watch it by yourself, it's like, ooh, what am I doing? Are they okay?
Yeah, and then it makes you like think about like maybe if being offensive isn't the quickest way to get it in people's hearts, or like if maybe hurting people isn't the best way to connect with people, and then maybe you shouldn't have said so many offensive things to your stepson.
Oh no, what, you said a bunch of offensive things to your stepson?
I called him the B word.
Uh-oh, little boy? You called him little boy?
It's not the B word you're thinking of.
Uh-oh, you called him a little butt? You called him a little butt?
I called him a banjo.
You called him a banjo?
I called him a banjo because I saw this and I thought of that. Yeah, he was like, what? That doesn't make sense. And I was like, I warned you I was going to be offensive up in this biatch.
What that? Just see there, you almost said an actually offensive word.
And he was like, yeah.
Man, I can imagine not liking being called a banjo because it's a confusing insult. But it doesn't seem like the kind of thing that would drive somebody to blow up a meth lab on their stepdad.
Yeah, man. Well, he's always doing crazy stuff. To tell you the truth, I kind of encouraged him to act that way because he was being so offensive, and I was saying that that's probably a good way to act. And he was doing offensive stuff, and I was like, "That's cool. You should do that." But I did call him the F word one time.
You did. You called him
At his preschool in front of everybody, including Miss Anderson.
Oh no, Miss Anderson does not appreciate the F word.
No, she hates it, man, because her husband Louie is always saying it, so she's fed up with it.
Yeah, and the F word is friend, right?
Flute.
Oh no. Okay, so her husband Louie is the band director, if I remember correctly.
And she was like, "What? Did somebody invite you to school?" And I was like, "Nah, because I'm offensive."
But you were like legally allowed to be there because you was picking up your stepson.
Yeah, well, I mean, technically, I don't have custody of him, but
you don't have custody of him.
Yeah, technically, but sometimes you have to follow your own heart and just, find a 34-year-old boy who could be your stepson and start saying that he's your stepson.
Now, hold on a minute, because you said you was at his preschool.
Oh,
and now you're telling me he's 34. He's not a preschool teacher, is he?
He could actually, maybe. There's a small chance that he's the PE teacher at Advanced Elementary School. I told you I was gonna be offensive. I've been breaking this guy every day.
Wow, yeah. The way he was talking about it seemed like he was talking about like a little boy, but it turns out, man, yeah, he's a gym teacher and he blew up a meth lab.
Yeah, man. He was a gym teacher and I was always going into his classroom and whispering to him, "It's good to be offensive. It's good to be offensive." I was like, "Say the V word." And you know what V stands for, right? I'll give you a hint.
Based on that hint, I think you maybe mean veranda. Is there a veranda out there?
Vagina. I mean violence.
Pete, now that one actually was offensive because you said the word,
Yeah, man. Sometimes I double down on my offensive,ness, and sort of like my name, man. You see that says 96. Do you see that?
I did see that. I was wondering if that was maybe the year that your stepson was born, but it turns out your stepson's 34, so it's not that.
No, man. Have you ever had 96 with somebody before?
96. One time I sang 99 bottles of beer on the wall with somebody, but we only got down to 96. Is that what you mean?
No, man. Like, what about your wife who you like separated from but still married to?
Yeah. I mean, we are in the process of she's filing me for divorce, which is unfortunate. That's a little life update for me. She has gone ahead and filed, and she is the DA of the state of Louisiana, so I assume it's going to get through. But right now, I do consider us still married, and I am still in love with her.
You should ask her to 96 with you some night, man. If you haven't tried it, it's so good, man.
Nah.
You've heard about it, right?
If you're talking about 69,
no, man.
96 is a different thing?
Yeah, you're confused. You must have dyslexia. It's when you both get naked and you go back to back, upside down, and you...
So you just kind of like rub your butts together a little bit?
Yeah, man. Don't tell anybody. I told you about this offensive stuff.
No, man, that's not that offensive. That's okay. I mean, that's just like more funny than it is offensive because most people like 69 is a thing that's like a sex act that people do. And look, I'm not going to talk about my wife out of school, but we never done that. But 96, what you're saying, that's just rubbing butts together.
Yeah, well, not really. It's rubbing your butt against the back of their head.
Oh, one of you flipped over. Okay,
still inverted. Yeah, man.
I'm still do the inversion thing.
I'm dumb. I'm not stupid.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't mean to call you stupid.
That's okay. But for you and your wife, man, can I give you a little bit of advice?
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of advice about her on the show so far, and I hope yours is more helpful than other people's.
When she's coming home, what's she do for a living? What's her work?
She's the district attorney for the state of Louisiana.
When she comes home from doing whatever it is district attorneys do,
yeah, I don't know either.
You need to ask her from the bottom of your heart. Do you want to hear me say the SH word?
Oh no!
And then when okay, I'll be you, and you be your wife. You're coming home from a long day of district attorneying.
Okay, yeah, the cases is filed. Yeah, we good.
Do you want to hear me say the SH word, honey?
Which SH word?
It's the most offensive one I know, baby.
Oh no! If you're gonna talk about your poop again, I'm not excited about it.
I'm gonna say it to you. Oh shit! Shaker. I mean shaker. I didn't say shaker. I keep thinking of
you got the bad words in your head.
I know. Sometimes I'm so focused on being offensive that I get like my mind all wrapped up inside of itself. It makes me kind of angry.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't want to hear you being angry. I mean, you are trapped in a room being fed salami outside through the vent, which, I mean, I can imagine that would make somebody angry.
Yeah, it turns out that it's not even my house either.
Well, yeah, because your house exploded, right? Your house was the meth lab.
Yeah, but that's where I thought I was. It turns out I was in the gym.
You in the gym at the elementary school?
It turns out this whole time I've been making meth inside of the gym, man.
Oh, Pete,
I didn't know because I was on meth.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's hard to track things when you're on meth, as far as I understand it. I've never.
It's hard to track things when I speak this way too, but you don't hear me not complaining.
Well, okay, but what you're telling me is the gym of the elementary school in Pasadena is now under the ground because a bunker, because there was a big explosion at the meth lab that you was having. Yeah,
and this fucking stepson that I commandeered, who's actually the gym teacher, keeps putting food in there, and he keeps saying, "Pete, like, this is the police. We're here to rescue you. You just have to reach out and hold our hand, and we'll pull you out of there." And I'm like, "Okay, well, next thing you know, you're gonna start telling me to stick my lips onto your beavers."
Pete, no, I think you have like legitimately somebody is trying to help you get out of this hole, man.
No, man,
they're actually doing a good thing for once, it seems like. Although just feeding a guy salami down underground isn't necessarily great, maybe. But why aren't you taking the hand? Why aren't you going out?
Because, man, you can't trust people. Because the thing is this salami
Yeah.
that he's giving, it looks a lot like Powerade and dehydrated foods. And that's what they're saying it is, too. They're saying, here's some dehydrated potatoes, here's some dehydrated carrots, here's some Powerade, here's some water. And they're like, you idiots, I told you I don't want salami. So that's why I don't trust them, because they're like that, man.
Pete, man, you have gone like, I mean, I guess being isolated down there would do this to a person. It's amazing that there's so many musical instruments inside this storage room.
There's a good chance it's the music room, not the gym. I cannot be
Yeah,
trusted with what's reality.
There's a good chance of a lot of things, it seems like, but I don't know. Yeah, you pointing at a guitar?
That's the G word. Talk about gaming systems. Oh, what?
Pointing at a guitar. You word is guitar.
What? Gaming systems. I told you I was going to be offensive.
Yeah, I mean, you edged on defensive there. You
Xbox 396, because that's a thing.
Okay, well, Pete, I mean, listen, as usual, your appearance is very confusing, and I don't know 100% if you're going to be okay, but I sure hope you are. If the police come back and they say, take my hand, you get the badge number, right? You ask for the badge number just in case. Maybe record it just in case anything goes down, but then you can reach up. You can get pulled out, man.
Okay. I've been asking him to teach me basketball, but he keeps saying, I am not the gym teacher. I am not your stepson. So I don't know what that means, but that's good advice. That's good advice.
Yeah. We trade advice. That's what we do. But Pete, we do have to get to my next guest. But before we do, I have a question coming to me through my publicist at Ezra Partier on Instagram. I'm gonna flash that at Instagram here. You can also follow me. I'm at Lester Pipps. And that question is coming to me from at Andres W. Parada, which I've said backwards a bunch of times in my whole life. And Andres W. Parada, who, wow, looks kind of like if you was wearing a shirt and had your false teeth in, which is interesting.
Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. That's a handsome boy I'm looking at right there, Andres W. Parada. If you ever want to come inside of a undisclosed meth lab and eat some slammy, I'll do that.
Hey, well, he knows where to find you. It sounds like somewhere in the Pasadena Elementary School.
Manzanita.
Pasadena. Oh, yes.
Manzanita.
Manzanita? Oh, it's moving. Okay. Was it Manzanita?
That's what it was the whole time. You just wasn't.
I messed up. Oh, I'm
sorry. What's the question? I'm sorry. What's the question?
The question is, how do you grease up a mower? And this is a good question. A lot of people think that to grease up a mower, you gotta get in there, take it apart, and then put the grease in. You can just spray WD-40 in there. You ever grease up a mower?
Oh yeah, but I used a different number. If you know what I'm talking about. I 69 the mower, and that makes it very greasy because my body's so unclean from all of the disgusting stuff that I'm doing inside of the gym.
That, my friend, that was offensive.
Yes, I knew I hit it, man. It's only a matter of time. It's the most offensive fucking goddamn shit that I've ever fucking said. You fucking cocksucker, motherfucker.
Oh, there you go. That was offensive too. I hope you stick around and help me interview my next guest. I'm very excited to talk to her. So we're going to talk to her. My next guest is somebody who excuse me, apparently have a throat reaction to. She is somebody whose OnlyFans I have seen once, and it was an OnlyFans account, which is very exciting sometimes. She is an apocalyptic themed OnlyFans content creator. Her name is Busty Bunker Babe, aka BB, and well, here she is.
Hi, Lester.
Hi, welcome to the show. You're here with me and with Pete.
Hi, Pete.
Hello, welcome.
So now, baby, you have been doing an OnlyFans account. Oops, I highlighted you. I meant to highlight me. We've been doing an OnlyFans account for a little while, which is cool, and it's bunker themed. Tell me a little bit about what that's been like.
So I have a lot of sugar daddies, as some people might call them, but I'm looking for the sugar daddy, the Zaddy, if you will, because it just seems like every time I have someone who sends me stuff for my bunker, after a while, it's like they just want to sleep with me. And, I don't like to assume the worst of people, but I don't understand why it's so hard to find a good man who will just love me unconditionally and provide for me financially without expecting things in return. So that's what I'm looking for. I think I deserve it, and just waiting for the day for him to come before I die and the world ends.
Yeah, I mean that doesn't seem unreasonable. You should be able to find somebody who likes providing for you, not just for your body. That's fair.
Thank you. I'm very fun. I'm adorable. So
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. You look good. You look fun. I don't know. I'm assuming based on now. I feel like I've walked into the same trap as all these other men.
What's the trap?
if you'd like, I just ran out of dinosaur chicken nuggets. It's on my Amazon wish list. You can send them to me.
So have you had success getting a lot of stuff? Do you feel like getting a lot of stuff from folks who maybe have in mind some kind of relationship, and the end of it is 100% unintentional? Does that question make sense?
You mean am I exploiting people for dinosaur chicken nuggets?
Well, my question is more, yes, that is kind of what I was asking, but I was trying to say, like, are you trying to get these dinosaur chicken nuggets, or are you trying to find a man?
You know, it's one thing to have a man, but when it comes to the end of days, the end of the world, would I rather have a man, or would I rather have a zaddy? And I think the answer is clear that, like, first of all, right now you can see I have a beautiful bunker. But as you can tell, I'm quite dirty. My bathroom is unfinished. I'm just squatting over a hole and shitting in a hole. And
Pete really enjoyed that. That's too bad though. I hope you're not having a bad time doing that. Now, I'm curious. Now, are you dirty because you've been going outside getting dirty from dirt, or are you dirty because you've been doing construction on the inside?
No, it's from shitting in a hole.
Oh yeah, okay, that will make you dirty. Yeah, that makes sense.
This lady's offensive, and I love it, man.
Well, yeah, no, that's interesting. Have you now? A lot of people, when they make a bunker, and this is my advice to anybody who's listening, make sure you put a bathroom in there before you get down
I
there.
should have done that first, but my first sugar daddy I ever had, Alfredo, he was the one who designed this bunker, and by the time it was time to put in the bathroom, he was trying to feel up my boobs, and it was like, whoa,
No.
I feel like you're a father figure. Why are you trying to touch my boobs? Like, he's my dad, so
yeah, you looking for a daddy, not a husband. That's two different things, or like even a sexual partner.
Now he knows where my bunker is, so I don't know. Sometimes he still sends me stuff, which is nice, so I'm okay with it. But I just really need to find somebody to help me finish the bathroom. So if anyone out there is watching and you're interested in finishing my bathroom so I don't have to shit over a hole.
She's an asshole.
Pete is just too much. I don't enjoy it as much as Pete does. Although some of the daddies that support me do really enjoy hearing about me shitting in the hole in the bunker. I don't know why, but I've gotten a lot of dinosaur chicken nuggets from just explaining how I squat over the hole.
Well, that's
the weirdest sentence I've ever heard.
That's true. That's true.
I've seen a bunch of dinosaur nuggets from shitting over a hole.
I will say OnlyFans has kind of a reputation as being a site for exactly this kind of interaction, right? Did you know that going in?
I don't know what you're insinuating, Mr. Lester, but I assure you that my business is pure and justified, and I am providing a service to these men. I mean, one, I offer an escort service, although that seems to be not very popular, where you can bring your iPad places and I will virtually sit there with you and make your girlfriend jealous.
No, that's a decent service. I'm surprised that that's not that popular.
Yeah, and the worst part is like the waiters are so rude to me when I ask for more wine. They act like I'm not really there, but it's like, Alfredo's gonna pack up the wine for me and bring it to my bunker, so I don't appreciate that. But I digress. I'm going off on a tangent.
Well, no, feel free to go on tangents. I'm very curious to hear more about your life. Now, I feel like what I've done accidentally is make it seem like I don't trust you are doing something honest, which is not the case. I'm just curious about your process. Now, Now, let's say, like Alfredo brings you out, right? And Alfredo, he brings you out on an iPad. You get the more wine from the waiter. There's no problem with that. The wait staff, whoever it may be, and then he brings it over to you. Are you like, is this a situation where you're like, I want to hang out with Alfredo platonically, or is it a situation where you're like, just give me the wine, get out of here, Alfredo?
I'm a fun person. I like to have fun. I just like to talk to Alfredo and feel loved and let him tell me how pretty I am and how nice my boobies are and how.
So you do want him talking about you. Okay, hey, whatever works for you. That's absolutely reasonable. Now, after Alfredo, you said you've had a number of different folks. What? Say again.
Oh, I just said suitors.
Suitors, sure. Yeah, suits. Yeah. So
suitors. Ooh la la.
So, what would be? You ever have a suitor who you're like, now this is a guy who I could see something real happening with?
Oh, well, that's what I'm looking for, Lester. I'm so exhausted, texting all these men who want to buy me things and having to make them each feel like I remember each of their names and I care about each of them equally and I'm not allowed to have favorites. It's just really stressful on top of the world ending and being in a bunker. And I want one sugar daddy to provide for me, to just make me feel special and wanted and to never ask for anything in return. I don't think that's a lot to ask for given how big my boobs are.
Have you tried starting a Patreon?
I mean, isn't that what an OnlyFans is?
Pretty much, yeah. It's just OnlyFans has a sexual connotation to it nowadays, which is strange. I'm curious though. There was this controversy with OnlyFans recently. Were you affected at all when that one big actress whose name I forgot made her OnlyFans cost too much money, and then they were like, "Oh, he's going to restrict people's money"? Did that affect your income? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm not totally well versed in all of this pornographic nonsense you're talking about. I assure you that my OnlyFans page is completely PG and I mostly just ask for dinosaur chicken nuggets and like canned foods and
what the
face masks.
He's confused by this. Why are you reacting that way?
Are they mailing this stuff to you and they're giving you money and you're saying, no, I don't want that.
This stuff to me.
Mailing you canned goods and dinosaur chicken nuggets. They're probably all melted by the time they're sending you rotten meat. You're having old men send you rotten meat to get some weird sexual thing there. I don't know who's sicker, them or you.
They send them with ice. It's not rotten.
Yeah, Pete. I mean, I know you're living underground eating what you think is salami, but turns out to not at all be salami. But
draw the line.
But yeah, I mean, the shipping industry has figured out how to make food move.
Plus, I cook it, and it's when cooking kills germs. I must say that my fire pit is next to my shit pit, which might be problematic.
Yeah, and also an indoor fire pit, not such a great call. I'll say that.
Well, it's ventilated. Otherwise, it would stink real bad in here if I didn't have a hole that went up to the outside. I do light candles from Bath and Body Works. It smells like pumpkin spice and shit in here.
Have you lit the wrong hole on fire before?
What do you mean, like my butthole?
No. You got a hole for your fire and a hole for your poop, right? No. Yeah, you light your butthole on fire?
No, I can tell which one has shit in it. Thank you, Peter. I am hot and smart.
Cool. Yeah, as you would expect. Now, more BBB in the chat says, "Are you a gamer girl too?" Nope, that's not quite what he said, but that's what I'm saying. I'll say what he actually said. He said gamer girl poo, but I misread it. But my question is the one I'm curious about. How do you spend your time when you're not doing your OnlyFans cams?
Does he want me to be a gamer girl? Because I can be a gamer girl if he wants me to be.
I imagine just because his mind went there immediately, probably he does.
Does he want to buy me dinosaur chicken nuggets?
Well, Mr. BBB, we waiting, or more BBB, we waiting for you in the chat. Andy Parada 1 in the chat says, "Can you be a board gamer girl? Monopoly."
Ooh,
He would like you to
send
tell
you to
him the
jail,
rules
bad
to the
boy.
game Monopoly.
I said I'd send him to jail. It was a pun.
That's the rules. That's the whole rules to the game Monopoly, as far as I'm concerned. If you're playing Monopoly with somebody, you either in jail or you in like marital bliss.
Yeah, there's always someone who's winning a lot and someone who's losing a lot, and it feels very similar to the capitalistic system that we live in. It's not fair.
Yeah, except for when you land on parking in real life. Whenever I go into a parking spot, I'm like, "Hey, motherfucker, where's my money?" And nobody ever gives me money. And then they're like, "It's not her," you know.
Yeah,
That's unfortunate.
that's offensive.
Now,
Oh, really? Thank you.
now,
Nobody's ever...
BB, let's say apocalypse times end, right? COVID's over. You can get outside. You can breathe the air without it being smoky or COVID-y. Nothing's trying to eat your brain from the inside. Would you go back to your life before COVID? Would you keep doing what you're doing now, or what would you like to do?
You know, I feel like I'm really good at what I do. I feel like I make people happy, like in a really genuine way. And I don't know, I just want to be able to have dinosaur chicken nuggets and not pay for them. And I don't think that's a lot to ask for, whether or not it's COVID. I think
That's only fair, yeah.
people might be less understanding about me going on dates on the iPad if it wasn't COVID. So
That's true. They might expect you to actually be there.
yeah, that would be unfortunate, but
Yeah.
I'll adjust if it happens. I don't think it's going to happen though, because it's pretty clear the world's ending. I mean, you said it yourself, so.
There's a lot of apocalypses happening right now, and there's a lot more that could happen in the future. Like the moon could open up its mouth, eat the whole earth. Now, but you never know. The moon could be an alien with a big mouth. Now, but what you've been saying that made me think of something that I should have asked you from the beginning, and that's why dinosaur chicken nuggets?
They're cute and yummy, like me.
Oh, that's a great answer. Now, we do have to get to my next guest. Before we do, I have a question coming to me from Hey Nora Hurley on Instagram, who let me put that up there. I should be smoother about this, but there we go. Hey Nora Hurley. Oh, thank you for that, Pete. Hey Nora Hurley would like to know what DIY quarantine crafts have you done, and do you remember? Oh, by the way, Hey Nora Hurley on Instagram looks kind of like if you cleaned your face a little bit, didn't have shit on it.
Is that shit? Is it shit?
Yeah, well, sometimes I say the words that my guests say, you know, which is interesting to me.
You smeared poop on your face?
But yeah,
it's got a worse life than me. I didn't think it was possible.
The answer to that question is, I highlighted the wrong person again. The answer to that question is, the only DIY craft that I've done is I've spent a lot of time making different. No, I changed my mind. I'm going to say this different answer. The DIY craft that I did was my whole beard, and it was great. It was glorious. And then I accidentally burned it off trying to make some chicken. A little bit of grease fire happened on my face, and now here we are, no beard. Maybe what quarantine crafts have you done, and do you recommend any?
I've been really big into embroidery. I like to embroider penises on pillows. And those seem to be really popular. I do offer a package in which you can buy me 52 cans of tuna, and I will send you a pillow patch of your penis half erect.
Wait.
So as not to be intimidating.
On your OnlyFans, people are sending you images of their penises. And it's not sexual, though.
You're like my father, Pete. Why would it be sexual?
Yeah, and everybody gets pictures of their father's penis to put onto a pillow. That's normal.
My dad is pretty absent in my life, so I don't know like what your dad's life was like or what your situation is, but this is my situation, and I appreciate it if you didn't judge me.
And that's only fair. Only fair for the OnlyFans. Now, we do have to get to my next guest. I'm very excited about it. My next guest is somebody who I talked to once before, and we talked a lot about the movies, you know, and that's great. I love the movies. So let's get him right in here. His name is Blake Chen. He's a film critic. Blake, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me, Lester. Oh, it's good to see you again, my friend. It is good to see all of you. Two of you strangers, but still exciting.
Hey, you know, one of the things that's great about quarantine is you can still meet people on the internet.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I haven't. You know, everything's so small. Everything's so small on my screen, and it just
Sure.
it it makes my head physically shrink, and
Oh no,
painful to me. It really is. Yeah.
that does sound painful. I would not like my head to physically shrink. That sounds.
Yeah. Oh God. It's been it's been
Robot
a
voice.
time.
Robot
I'm sorry. What
voice.
was that?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you got a robot
Robot.
voice.
Whoa.
Okay, hey Blake, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna solo on you. You tell us a little bit about what you were doing prior to these COVIDs. I'm gonna fix my mic.
Yeah, absolutely. So so I'm a film critic. I run a very popular website out here in Los Angeles called Blake Chen's Reviews, Critiques, and Musings.com. That's spelled BLACEKHEN. The other Blake Chen has a very similar website, and he got there first. And I basically, watch a lot of movies. I watch every movie that comes out of the theaters. I watch it 6 times before I write my review because I really want to give people a clear idea of what they're seeing, right? Like, it's not just about, is it good? Is it bad? It's about, does it further the art of cinema? And the answer is generally no.
I imagine. So yeah, there's only so many movies in the whole world that can further the art of cinema.
You're still a robot, man.
Oh no. Okay. I'll be back. Y'all talk.
You watch a movie 6 times?
At least, yeah, absolutely. The worst ones I watch more often just to make sure. The last movie I watched in theaters was, it must have been, I watched 1917 just right before the quarantine. This was obviously a good movie. They re-released it in very limited qualities in black and white, and I gotta say, the color one is much better. But I watched it about 7 times, and that's concluding the 6 times I watched the original. And let me tell you, by number 13, sorry, it's
Robot.
you really kind of start to hate it. And as amazing as it is, all the explosions, it's just sort of washes over you like a haze, and just like static at one point. It's just nothing, meanishness.
What movie have you seen the most?
That's a good question. Am I really still a robot?
You're still a robot.
Yeah, you're
Dang it.
robot there.
What is going on? Okay, I'll be back.
The movie I've watched the most is the Star Wars movies. I've watched Star Wars about probably like 45 to 100 times, depending on whether or not you count the new Star Wars as new Star Wars. I don't. I still watch them plenty of times to make sure, and the answer is they are the same movie. Yeah, turns out.
BB-8 is so cute.
R2D2, BB-8, C3PO. Are they really that different? I don't know.
They're different characters.
Little robot.
BB-8's a robot, but am I still a robot?
No,
you're not. We got a robot.
You are, like Anakin or Obi-Wan or, Palpatine, all sort of the mindless mush that movies become at a certain point. Yeah.
My
That makes
boyfriend gave me
sense.
this.
You have a boyfriend? I heard. Oh, is he following
One
your
of my
OnlyFans?
boyfriends. I have
One
a
of
lot
your
of boyfriends.
Ooh la la.
Now, Blake, you did tell me that going from watching movies in the movie theater all the time, watching every movie 6 times, to now in quarantine not being able to get out into the theaters is kind of driving you crazy. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure plenty of people disagree. I don't believe in Netflix. I don't. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna take this big movie on this big screen with the sound and the atmosphere of the audience, and you're gonna reduce it down to a little screen? What are we gonna do next? Like watch movies on our phones? That's insane.
Oh no! I don't want to be the one that has to tell you this,
Blake,
but there's this new thing called Quibi. That not only are they they're supposed to be on your phone. They only 10 minutes long. They short and they small.
I heard about that. It's like a YouTube, right?
Kinda,
We
but
think that it's going on TikTok. That's even
right. Yeah. I mean, like, let's be real here. I think BB's OnlyFans account probably has more artistic value than,
Oh,
than
thank
whatever
you.
this Quibi.
I think he was insulting you.
Well, I thought it was sweet.
You could see it as either a compliment or a backhanded compliment, but both are
Yeah.
true.
I take it as a front-handed compliment.
You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. Yeah.
Well, I should say, BB, more BBB in the chat does say, please add to your OnlyFans account, because right now there's nothing on there.
It's almost as if I made a character just for this show.
Strange. I hope not, because you're a real person,
What?
as far as I know.
I know.
Now, Blake, how has how have you been handling not being able to see these movies on the big screen? What have you been doing in yourself to watch movies?
Well, I mean, it was a bit of a
I watched
process
movie.
at first. You know, people I saw online, a lot of people were making comments that that life is like cinema right now. So I tried that. I looked out that very window. I got some popcorn, and I just looked out the window for a while. And honestly, I guess not a ton of artistic value to it. It's I know that Warners are very popular right now. You know, after the success of Birdman of 1917. But you know, you gotta at least change the camera angle, and it really just like some shift from left to right a little bit. It's just some people, you know, like driving down the street. It didn't have any narrative value. So after a little bit, I had to give that up. I gave a scathing review on my website, and since then I've just been sort of closing my eyes and just imagining the movie. Like I watched Mulan just the other day. I just closed my eyes.
Oh, really? The new version?
The new one, yeah.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I have to say, not great. Really not great. Yeah,
You just imagined it, though. You didn't actually watch it. You just imagined what it would be like.
Yeah. You know, like you know, she's going through some sort of, you know, she's going through a training thing. She's kicking, she's jumping, she's fighting a guy with a big beard, and she's saved the emperor, and she's a hero.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. It sounds like you kind of just somewhat remembered the animated version in order to watch the live action movie.
But like with real people.
But like with real people, yeah.
Yeah.
Who did you cast in your brain version of Mulan?
Well, so Mulan was. I saw a picture of her on Twitter. She's like not, you know, like it was crazy. Like it's supposed to be period, but she's just wearing like a gown as if she's going to some sort of event. It was terrible. I also had the woman from the Star Wars movie. She was in there.
The one you've watched
Daisy
dozens
Ridley.
of times.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, Daisy Ridley.
Yes. No, that's not her name.
Which
Rey.
role in Star Wars?
Rey. So Rey.
Okay, yeah. So Rey from Star Wars is in Mulan.
Beard. She's the bad guy in this movie.
Okay.
She is invading China, and Mulan fights her off with a series of kung fu, leaping, flying daggers that may have taken from the time I watched House of Flying Daggers.
Well, that movie sounds like it had a lot of daggers in it.
That movie was great, actually. I will say that movie, you rewatch it the seventh time, is just as interesting as the first.
So you review movies after watching them either 7 or 8 times, or just imagining what they might be like.
No, that's a current one. Current movies are all just sort of the imagined.
Yeah, because if you can't go to the theater, you might as well just imagine it up. I get that. That makes sense to me.
Tenet was incredible. I would say Tenet was really good. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I thought it was just like this wondrous. You know, Christopher Nolan is a genius. You know, all of his movies are really great. Inception. And so, like, I love how he just. I love the scene where he, you know, the guy Tenet comes in. He goes into the bank, and he's got this great. Like, everybody's wearing masks, and you know, one guy comes in, flies in through a zip line, and he's like talking. You don't know it's him yet because he's wearing a mask, right? He's like talking to the bank manager. It's like, oh yeah, give me all the money. And then he puts a grenade in his hands and then pulls it, but it turns out to be a dud. And then he kills him anyway later. It's like,
oh man, you gotta if he's gonna use a grenade, you gotta make sure it's not dud, because you're gonna look real dumb throwing just a rock at somebody.
That's actually not far off from the actual plot, too. Like, I know you have this making up, but that's actually kind of cool.
He's a movie critic. He knows what he's
I
doing.
know
movies,
I know my things.
So Blake, forgive me if this was asked while I was off screen briefly, but what's the movie that you rated the highest in your whole life?
In my whole life?
Yeah.
Oh, it has to be. Oh, it's got to be a Seven Psychopaths. Oh,
Seven
yeah,
Psychopaths.
yeah. It's a movie by Martin McDonagh.
Okay.
And
Oh, that's the guy from Three Billboards.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, this was his second film after the one In Bruges.
In Bruges is in too?
Yeah, that's
I really like In Bruges.
Yeah, so this movie was great because I would only watch one psychopath at a time. So I watched the whole movie 7 times, and I got the whole movie in 7 little pieces, and I thought it was just like really incredible.
So
Yeah,
if I had seen that movie, I bet I would understand that joke better. But I do really like the concept of you like focusing on one character at a time as you watch the movie.
Some of them only get like a couple of minutes of screen time, so that was like a nice short day.
That's good. That's good. Now, Blake, if you let's say like COVID's over, right?
Yeah.
You's out there, you can do whatever the heck you want. You go to any movie theater, you can watch any movie. What would be the one thing you most want for your life?
Oh boy! After this is all over, I gotta say, Mad Max Fury Road, black and white, in the Egyptian, because it's got the largest screen. It's like a 200-seat theater, and I just want the whole thing by myself, and I want them to play it on loop for the whole day. And I'm just gonna sit there. I'm gonna get like 2 Chipotle burritos, a really big things of soda, and I'm gonna sit there. I'm gonna like just watch that movie.
Well, hey, I mean, everybody's got to have life goals. Yours is 2 whole burritos inside of a movie theater, which that's
They're never gonna let them do
I
it.
hope you're happy. What'd you say, Pete?
They're never gonna let them bring in outside food and beverage. You're dreaming, man.
Yeah, you better dig a hole for a bathroom because that's gonna go right.
Yeah, I mean that's why I have the big bottle, the big thing of soda.
You empty it in the bottle. You drink the soda, then you then rinse and repeat. Is that the idea?
Yeah, it's kind of like a free refill.
Yeah. You can't leave in the middle of a movie. I don't think you understand.
Okay, sorry.
This man's website is
Netflix. You can just pause. So
now I don't like to look at my guests, take their whole thing and say, I can poke a hole in that pretty easy. But I will say, in my bunker, we do have a room that has a giant projector screen hooked up to a laptop computer. So I can watch all my Netflix movies on a huge screen with big speakers. You ever consider something like that?
See, what you're describing is a movie, and what I'm talking about is film.
Oof.
Film cannot be captured in 720p.
Got you there, Lester.
You're right. You're so right. I'm so sorry. I tried. What a fool I was.
It's
Now we're
about
coming
cinema.
Exactly. The cinema experience is what it's all about for you. I get that. That's cool. Everybody's got to have their preferences. Now, I did just ask the question of just you, but I'm curious, Pete, if you could have anything in your whole life after all these COVIDs is over, you get out from underneath the elementary school, what would the thing for you be? What's your dream? What you want?
I've always wanted to go inside of a van. And I'm not just talking about a minivan. I'm talking about a E350 club wagon. And you know what I'm going to do inside there with my hands?
Maybe drive it?
What?
Maybe drive it?
Think again.
Okay, maybe he's going to reupholster it?
No, I'm going to pound off. With both my hands. Was that offensive or no?
Yeah, that one was offensive. We're talking about masturbating. Yeah, you know everybody. BB, what would you do if you could do? I think I maybe asked you something really similar to this question, but like you could have anything in the whole world. You don't have to worry about income, nothing like that. Oh, what would you want?
Pete reminds me of the men I date.
Thank you.
Oh, Pete, that was not a compliment.
What? That's offensive? I'm falling in love.
Hey, if you buy me enough dinosaur chicken nuggets, I might just love you back.
As long as they're made out of salami.
Okay.
Again, salami seems to be Powerade for you, but yeah.
If I could have anything in the whole wide world, I would get a unlimited gift card to Panera Bread.
That's a good answer. Panera Bread has lots of food. When you're feeling like you want something healthy, you can get that. When you're feeling like you want something a little bit dangerous,
Yeah, and to Pete's point, the broccoli cheddar soup really does not hold up when I Grubhub it. It always comes really watery. So I've been really missing. You could hook me up to an IV of that broccoli cheddar, and I would be good for the rest of my days.
Oh no! If you get broccoli cheddar in your veins, you die.
Yeah.
You can't. Broccoli cheddar is not a healthy thing for
The
you.
doodle hole is gonna get messy. If you know what I mean.
It's gonna be a real Grubhub.
Now, Blake Chen, I do have a question coming to me from my Instagram through my publicist at Ezra Partier on Instagram at Ezra Partier on Twitter, and it comes to me from Byron M. Wu on Instagram. Let me get that banner up here, Byron M. Wu, and yeah, he looks like his picture looks like exactly like yours, except maybe you just take your glasses off sometimes.
No, these are attached to my face.
Oh, well then I guess it's not you. Byron, he asked me, Byron M. Wu asked me, what is the best kind of deodorant for us apocalypse sweaters? And I'll say, you know what, I've found actually that the deodorant that works best for me, which this is kind of weird, but I actually use Secret for Women, the only one that works. I don't know why. It's real weird.
That's what I use.
Is that right? Hey, we got so much in common.
Apocalypse twins.
We got bunker, we got deodorant. Blake Chen, what would you say is the answer to that?
I would recommend putting on Jaws. All right, the movie is going to get literally all of the sweat out of your body in one go, and then you'll be good for the rest of the day. You won't have any left in you. You're just going to be in such enthralled sweat for about an hour and a half, and then you'll be good.
Hey, that's a great idea. You know, as long as you manage to make yourself smell okay, you clean up.
That's a great idea. Let's.
I told you, I'm not I guess, you know. Well, listen, we
great idea.
We don't have much time left in the show. I do have to say goodbye to everybody who's watching. But before we do, real quick, we got time for like a quick hitter of any last words of advice you got for any of my listeners, folks, or anything you want people to find on the internet. Blake Chen, why don't we go to you first?
One word of advice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gotta say, delete all of your streaming apps. Simply close your eyes and create cinema in your own mind.
That's interesting advice for me personally. I think I'm not going to do that, but I hear you. Anything you want folks to find on the internet?
Find on the internet?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing of value on the internet except for my website, which you should look at and buy all of my advertisements from, so I can.
And that is onlyfans.com/Blake Chen. Now, BB, let's go to you next. Any last words of advice for folks? Anything you want people to find on the internet?
I want all the little girls who are watching right now and looking up to me to put on their nicest push-up bra. Unless you're like me and you have 32 triple Ds and you don't need one, then don't worry about it. And put your best foot forward and ask and you shall receive. And that's the secret of life, really. So, anyone who's watching and wants to send me dinosaur chicken nuggets, I'm really craving them and I haven't had them in a couple of days. So please go to my OnlyFans page and get me those. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And that's onlyfans.com/Busty Bunker Babe. Now, Pete, real quick, we out of time. Last words of advice or anything you want folks to find on the internet.
Don't eat that salami. It's just Powerade is my advice. And then find stuff at youtube.com/Andres Parada Company. There's a little YouTube channel for you to lay your sweet little eyes on because I like you. I love you.
Mm-hmm. I like that too. I found a lot of funny videos on there to keep me entertained. Now, we are out of time, so I'm just going to say thank you all to you three for being here. Thank you all in the comments for doing the comments and for watching the show. And thank you to the Pack Theater for letting us be on here. Stick around for, I believe it's Play Cousins. I did not check the schedule. I apologize, but stick around. There's more show. We got to go!